special chapel because today is preschool's last chapel. Oh, let's give them a round of applause. Friday is their last day. How about that? Woo! Yay! They're out of school. So this day, today, we're going to do songs that they like. Y'all might not like them, but they do. All right, Mr. Tio, let's do the tootie top.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, shake your hips. If you're happy and you know it, shake your hips. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shake your hips. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, jump up high. If you're happy and you know it, jump up high. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, jump up high. Clap your hands, shake your hips, stomp your feet, jump up high. Clap your hands, shake your hips, stomp your feet, jump up high. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Oh, was he going to speak first?
We're going to save the best for last. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what I was doing at this very time last week. I was so thirsty because I was hiking on the Appalachian Trail up in the mountains. And yes, I did see bear tracks and evidence of bears, but I never actually saw a bear. The night before, I got caught in a thunderstorm and a lightning storm like I had never thought I'd ever be in. I was up on a mountain. I got my tent up as quickly as I can, but it rained so hard, and the water started coming in through the floor of the tent because I was on a mountain and the water was running underneath the mountain, coming up through the floor. I had a couple of rags with me, so I soaked it up as best as I could, but it was kind of scary, especially because I had to close the tent up all the way. I couldn't see outside. It was pitch dark, and then I thought I was hearing like somebody was just outside my tent. I couldn't look out to see who it was. My imagination was running wild with me, but obviously I was okay. But this time, last week, I had run out of water. Now, I got my water by finding streams or whatever I could, and I took my water filter and stuck it in the water, pumped it up, and filtered water so I'd have enough water to go on. I made a very silly mistake. Right? Yeah. I wasn't laughing. I took a water bladder that was inside my backpack. It was 3 liters. I filled it up, and I don't know why, but I didn't take a spare bottle with me. Had I had a spare bottle hanging on the side of my hip, when I ran out of that water, I would have known it's time to look for some more water. I didn't know I needed to look for more water until I had run out. And no matter how hard I tried to suck on that tube to get more water out of the bladder, it's empty, it's empty. And I went many hours, in fact I went over 24 hours looking before I got any water. I've never been so thirsty in my life. My tongue felt like it was leather. But we had a good time. Here's some of the pictures. It was really, really beautiful. The waterfall just up going up on the trail. Tim, you can run them a little bit faster if you can. I don't know if you can or not. But one of the things I wanted to tell you about, another mistake that I made was, now that's Mr. Steve, and he's up on some rocks. There were lots of rocks. To me, that slide there on the lower part, does that look like something to any of you all? A what? A snake? Somebody say a snake? I thought it did too. Looked like a snake, right? A big snake that was sleeping. Do you not see that? Maybe it's my imagination. I have a very vivid imagination. So you can run the slides, Tim, as I'm talking. The views were incredible. Also, it got cold at night. As warm as it was here, I could see my breath in the morning. Sometimes it was foggy. Other times it was real clear. And other times it was raining. A lot of rain on the Appalachian Trail. But one of the biggest mistakes I made, probably the water, not having a reserve bottle for the water was the biggest mistake. But the next mistake was, these are solar panels right here. And this is called a solar charger. And it stores electricity in there. And so I had this, I was prepared for this, and I had this piece of equipment. What is this? A telephone, a cell phone. So I was all ready to let everybody know where I was and how I was. That slide right there is one of the shelters I stayed in at night. All it was a 3-sided building and with a wooden floor. And you just laid out there and you were protected from rain or whatever. But that night in the storm, I was caught going up a mountain. I was probably at least a couple miles from the nearest shelter. So I had to stay in my tent. But I had everything I thought to stay in touch, to let Mrs. Senes know I was all right, and everyone else, I'm okay. But there were times, even though my cell phone was working and I had power in it, I couldn't talk to anybody because there wasn't any reception up there. Mrs. Senes didn't hear from me for over 40 hours one time. She was really, really worried. But I tried to text her, but I could never find reception. It's pretty desolate and wild out there, but it's also very beautiful. Now, my phone began to, when I could find reception, I was about not to be able to make a phone call because the battery in my phone was just about dead. I had just that much more. And I came across a hiker, and I was just talking to him, and I said, you know, I did the most silly thing. I said, I forgot a piece of equipment. I forgot a cable. It doesn't matter if your solar charger is fully charged and your cell phone is empty. All you need is this little cord here. But I didn't have it. I left it. I didn't bring it with me. And so I was telling him this. He says, well, you know, he says, when we get up to the next shelter, he said, let me check and see if I've got one. He says, I don't use that kind of a cord. I don't know why I would put it in there, but let me check. And sure enough, I prayed. I prayed to God. I said, oh God, please let me be able to recharge my phone because my wife, Mrs. Senes will not know if I'm okay or not. And I had no other way. Well, maybe I could have used his cell phone. But anyway, we got to the shelter. He looked. He says, sir, he says, I don't know why I threw this in my equipment, but this is what you need. And I thought to myself, I know why you threw it in there. He says, I don't even use that kind. So I was able to charge my phone, get in touch with everybody, let them know that I wasn't lying on the side of some trail or eaten by a bear or whatever. I loved it. It was just an exhilarating experience. Now, what I want to leave you with is this. I couldn't get in touch with the ones that I love to let them know that I was okay because I didn't have this little piece of cord. But you know what, boys and girls? There's someone that's looking after you, and he knows how you are, and where you are, and what you're doing, every minute of the day. You don't need one of these cords to get in touch with that person. Of course, do you know who that person is? It's God. That's right. He wants you to stay in touch with him. So he hasn't made it difficult. He doesn't say you have to do this or you have to do that. All you have to do is just talk to him and pray to him. And he's listening 24 hours a day. He wants to hear from you. Always remember, God loves you, and he loves it when you talk to him. Okay? Now, I said we're going to save the best for the last. I'm going to turn it over again to Miss Tammy.
This month, the third and fourth grade have the scripture and the psalm of the month. So I'm going to ask the third and fourth grade to come up so they can get ready to sing their song. if we mess up our lines, we hope you won't notice. But we do have is a Mother's Day skit because Mother's Day is coming up Sunday. And so we wanted everybody to just be aware of that. Everybody's working on Mother's Day gifts and what have you. So it is a Mother's Day skit. So just join us as we do our best to present this skit to you as impromptu as it goes. So go ahead and incorporate it. I'm ready to start these microphones.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment. Ephesians 6:1-2.
Here comes Lori. Hi, Lori. Why are you looking so sad?
It's Mother's Day, and I don't have anything to give to her.
I've been working on my present for a long time.
Oh yeah?
What are you giving her?
I'm giving her a fancy wind chime that has all the things she likes on it. She likes flowers, so there's a chime shaped like a flower. She likes butterflies. She likes birds, so there's a chime shaped like a bird. She likes butterflies.
Got it. That sounds like a lot of work.
Way too much work. I don't have time to make something that fancy.
That's why I made my mom a card.
Moms always love that. I'm actually not very good at making things.
Dad took me out shopping. Do you buy her a gold necklace with a diamond? Whoa.
Way too much money. I don't have that kind of money.
That's why I bought her something that didn't cost so much. I'd use all my allowance.
Oh yeah? What is it?
Also a necklace but with beads.
Nice. Flowers? No. Dad and I never dared to buy her a jewelry. It never seems to match. I hear that. So what did you get her? Flowers. Flowers are always safe. What do you get your mom? I bought a card. Cards are always safe.
And chocolates.
Chocolate good.
And if she gets her own way, we get to eat them. You didn't say what you were doing.
Oh, what's easy? Water coupons.
Mother's Day is just one day where we make sure that we say thank you because we probably forget to do that on all the other days.
Exactly. So by obeying your parents, you show them honor. And it really is like saying thank you to them every day.
Thanks. I know what I'm going to get from Mom and Dad. Hey, I'm going to add that gift along with the other one for my mom. Me too. Yeah, definitely. So will I.
Well, you third and fourth graders, oh, I love coming to school every day. I wanted to say to our third and fourth graders, you'll soon be promoted, going to your next grade. Your fourth graders don't know who your teacher will be next year, but I do. I'm going to send home a letter to your parents. I will tell you that this teacher has horses, cows, and I think she probably will invite you to her farm. She's been teaching for 26 years in another school. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you anymore, but she's well known in this community, okay? And I'll send a letter to you today. I'll get it done. You can take that home to your parents. And I think you're going to be very surprised who your teacher will be next year. And I would just say this for next week. Okay, Mrs. Strickland. Anyway, our preschool, you only have a couple of days of school, and then you get to go home for the summer. I'm going to miss you. You are so sweet. Yes, sir. Did I see a snake? No, just in my imagination. No, I didn't see a wolf either. I did see a fox in my backyard this morning. He was going through my garden. All right, well, we love every one of you. We love every one of you. I hope that you'll have fun. We've got a very fun day scheduled for this Friday. But I pray you'll be safe. And just know that we pray for you every single day. Your teachers love you so very much. So have a great day. Let me pray right now, and then we will go back to your class. Our Father, thank you for each one of these precious boys and girls and the life that they have ahead of them. I ask, Lord, that you keep it straight, that they will know of your love for them, Father. They always will remember that they always turn to you because you love them so much and you want the very best for them. I ask, Lord, that you keep them safe. I ask that you keep them healthy. I ask, Lord, that you watch over their mommies and their daddies and their brothers and their sisters. And I ask, Lord, that you bring us all back together as we start school this coming August. Until that time, Lord, help us to do our best. And thank you for all that you've given us. In Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say something to our third and fourth graders. You all have especially been impressive when we have our storm and fire drills. You go after these little ones and you take their hand and lead them to make sure they get there safe.